He got tournament banned. Who? Setsuko? Sanctions. Official competitive ruling from Riot Games. Kevin Setsuko Jang. Okay, here we go. Open in browser. This should be good. All right, let me head over to my dramatic readings. Official competitive ruling. What is this font? Kevin Setsuko Jang. TLDR. Kevin Setsuko Jang. Setsuko breached Article 9.2.5 of the America's TFT Esports Magic and Mayhem Rulebook and Articles 3.21 and 3.8 of the Riot Games Global Esports Code of Conduct, hereinafter referred to as the, quote, Global Code of Conduct, end quote, for use of discriminatory and denigrating language while on stream and for sharing previous correspondence from Riot that included an express confidentiality notice. Setsuko is suspended for participating in any associated or affiliated Riot sanctioned competition through Magic and Mayhem's current set, effective through November 27, 2024. He's just banned for 2 months. Timeline. The below is a summary of the findings. While all facts and evidence available were considered, the below only refers to what is considered necessary to explain the reasoning of the case. On August 24th, 2024, Riot Games was made aware of allegations that Setsuko was engaging in behavior that was in violation of the America's TFT Esports Magic and Mayhem Rulebook, the Global Code of Conduct, and the standards of integrity established therein. During Day 2 of the Tacticians Cup number 1, Setsuko used discriminatory and denigrating language while on stream. Upon review of Setsuko's X account, formerly Twitter, Riot's investigators discovered a tweet published on July 5th, 2024, sharing previous correspondence from Riot that included an express confidentiality notice. In addition to the tweet, all competitors were given official correspondence after Inkborn Fables Tacticians Cup number 3, reiterating that policies around professional conduct during Riot sanctions events. July 5th from Setsuko TFT. He probably doesn't tweet that often. Oh, actually, it's the last. It's the last tweet. Is this a joke? I can't tell. We regret to inform you that your recent behavior during the Tacticians Cup number 3 has been found in violation of rules and standards. This is a straight up email screenshot. Incident: during the Tacticians Cup number 3, you pretended to type "fuck off" to an admin on stream and did not cooperate with the tournament procedure by failing to take and provide screenshots of the endgame result on purpose. Rule violated, profanity and hate speech. Blah, blah, blah. Penalty: as a result of this violation, we are imposing a fine of 50% of your prize from the tournament. This decision is made to uphold the integrity and professional law events. Please acknowledge the receipt of this message by responding, "I acknowledge." He's not doing that. We trust that you understand the gravity of the situation. We trust that you understand the gravity of the situation and the importance of adhering to the official rules. Sure. In the view of the above, Riot Games opened formal disciplinary proceedings against Setsuko for potential breaches of the America's TFT Esports M&M Rulebook and the Global Code of Conduct. Riot Games provided Setsuko the opportunity to submit a written statement. While a statement was submitted after the established deadline, it was exceptionally taken into consideration when assessing the case. Relevant rules. Esports professionals must abide by the GCC and additional rules and regulations set out for the respective league of participate in. In particular, the below provisions are relevant to the present case. Esports Global Code of Conduct, Article 3.21, confidential information. Esports professionals may have access to information that is confidential to Riot Games or one of its affiliates that is competitively sensitive. Examples of such confidential information may include team lineups, team strategy, all very relevant. The results of pre-recorded matches that are broadcast or streamed to audiences at a later date. Information that is embargoed pending a, quote, reveal, end quote. And information esports gained to access during investigations or disciplinary proceedings. Esports professionals may not deliver / leak Riot confidential or non-public information to others or use it for any purpose other than competing in Riot Games esports competitions. Similarly, esports professionals may not request or facilitate any such provision of confidential. Okay, sure. So they can't request it. That's one of two. Holy cow. Okay, they're citing everything. Esports Global Code of Conduct 3.8, derogatory or defamatory statements. Esports professionals may not offend the dignity or integrity of a country, a private person, or group of people through contemptuous, discriminatory, or denigrating words or actions on account of race, skin color, ethnic, national, social origin, gender, language, religion, political opinion, or any other opinion, financial status, birth, or any status, sexual orientation, medical condition, or history, or any other reason. I mean, they got him there. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's violated like 90% of this, except for maybe like the sexual orientation part. American TFT Esports Magic and Mayhem Rulebook, Article 9.2.5, discrimination and denigration. Players or staff may not offend the dignity and integrity. It's the same thing. Oh, so they got him on 2 accounts of discrimination and derogatory statements. Ruling. After conducting a thorough investigation and providing Setsuko with the right to be heard, Riot Games determined a breach of the following provisions. Article 3.21 and 3.8. While passing its ruling, Riot Games took into consideration the specific circumstances of the case, the seriousness of the offenses committed, as well as aggravating and mitigating circumstances, including Setsuko's disciplinary track record. This below summarizes Riot's most relevant findings only. When determining their applicable sanction, Riot Games noted that Setsuko received a penalty in July 2024 for breaching the rulebook of profanity and hate speech. In this regard, Riot Games considers Setsuko's recent disciplinary track record as an aggravating circumstance. In addition, okay, what they mean is they're saying that he already has shown bad behavior, so he's kind of like, under watch there. In addition, Riot Games acknowledged that in their statement, Setsuko admitted to such language. However, little remorse was shown regarding how the comments might be interpreted or received. But most importantly, harmful to the audience. As a notable TFT player with a significant following on Twitch, their streams are highly visible to the community. Professional players have an increased duty to exhibit good behavior and to maintain the standards of all esports professionals. So they're holding him accountable for being an influencer. Riot Games also considers several mitigating factors. In particular, Riot Games recognized Setsuko's cooperation during the investigative process. Setsuko's statements provided context explaining how provocative and repetitive comments from the Brazilian community while streaming had affected them. That is true. I think Brazilian fans definitely were trying to start a war. Furthermore, Riot noticed that Setsuko has mentioned to proactively mend relationships with members of the community moving forward. Due to the nature of the above described violations and taking into account all of the aggravating and mitigating circumstances, Setsuko was suspended from participating in any official, associated, or affiliated Riot sanctioned competition through the current set through November 27th, 2024. Further violations of the GCC may result in additional penalties. It was posted by GG Tech at everyone. Can I react with an emoji? So Setsuko got banned for 2 months for him beefing with the Brazilian community. So I'm going to say one thing to start things off. What Setsuko said, you can say it's not a big deal or it's whatever. It was all in jest. But the reality of the fact is what he said is really not okay in any professional setting, period. You can try to justify that. The only time it might be okay to say that is if you're streaming on Kick. And that's pushing it. Okay, actually, that's probably they probably would actually gift him the 1,000 subs. But the thing is, you can't actually say a lot of these things and not expect some kind of action to happen. But I didn't expect him to get banned. What did he say? I mean, actually, that's a good question. Does anyone have the link? I don't want to misquote him on this. There's people who say, like, let's see, Setsuko. There's some Brazilian people who like DJ Setsuko. There's some Brazilian players who are like kind of linking some stuff. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, I have a screenshot here. Okay, TFT Fiora. So what ended up happening was this guy linked a clip of Setsuko, and then Setsuko. Back a while ago, Setsuko typed 71GG, and then the Brazilian community responds with stuff like this. List of school shootings in the United States, right? So this has obviously become very toxic and inflammatory. So let me see if I can find... This guy tweets a lot about WoW. This guy doesn't even play TFT anymore. He just quit. Oh, here it is. Loses to Brazilian, calls Brazilian bad right after losing, spends 20 minutes on live being xenophobic. Repeat. All right, here we go. Might contain sensitive content.
I mean, I want to say some very mean words to these fucking retard Brazilians, but I'm just going to refrain. Because, I mean... Like,
I see.
I hope you guys know I make all of your salaries combined in one day. Like, please, man. Just don't fight, please. You are a fucking bum in real life and in game.
May not offend the dignity or integrity of a country, a private person, a group of people through contemptuous, discriminatory, denigrating words or actions on account of race. He didn't hit their skin color, ethnic, national, social orientation, not gender, not language, not religion, not political opinion, financial status, And I guess technically medical condition, but yeah, that's like that is not good. Yeah, you can't be saying that, man. You can't be saying that. Now, I do understand the other side, which is he's been harassed and aggravated a lot. Like, you guys think these Brazilians are innocent in it? Like, because as you guys saw in the previous screenshot, this is not the first time these people are trying to go at war with Setsuko, so they're clearly trying to provoke him. But I guess it's like sort of the attitude that he's cultivated by being so hostile towards them. All right, let me see from TFT Fiora. You sow what you reap, or you reap what you sow, rather. And so, like, if he's being so hostile towards all these Brazilian fans, they're just gonna keep trying to war with him and beef with him. It doesn't matter, and he 100% started it. Oh, I don't know who started it. Either way, it takes two to tango. Like, see, these are the people, like, okay, I talked to some Brazilian players, by the way, and some Brazilian players are like, yeah, this guy's kind of an idiot, this TFT Fiora guy. But, like, he clearly is also just trying to be very toxic and hateful towards people. And so you just can't get into it with people like that. I agree that he was being provoked, but vent in private defense, not a stream during a tournament. I mean, yeah, he needs to not say anything. Okay, so Setsuko did something really uncool. Obviously, the problem would be that anytime they do anything to imply that it's like, if they let it slide, some people would be like, Riot shouldn't do anything. I think you are completely wrong, because then that just allows toxicity to snowball. Because then what if someone says the exact same thing about any other people? They just started a Middle Eastern server, right? So what if people just start saying things that are really obviously offensive towards people in the Middle East? What if they start allowing people to say that about an African country? Because, you know, EMEA is starting to include more African countries, and obviously we have a history of the internet of being really toxic and very offensive about that kind of stuff. So they don't want that to be a precedent, because what happens if they do punish somebody? Let's say, so Kiyun's in chat, let's say Kiyun says something very racist and xenophobic. He won't. The reason why I pick Kiyun, because I know he will never do that. But then they punish Kiyun, but they don't punish Setsuko. Then there's an inconsistency with that competitive ruling. So I think for them, they say we need to take action now, because in the future, if something like this happens again, we're going to be in trouble because we punished one person but not the other. And it's weird to punish Setsuko like a year later for something that should have been punished at that time. So we should agree that a punishment should happen. But the question becomes, is it too severe? Kian says, isn't the fine kind of severe? Like, how come the win trader world only gets a slap on the wrist? Oh, yeah. So that part is... that's a separate topic. You're right that there's a lot of other competitive integrity issues with that. My assumption is two things. One, that I don't know if Riot is being beholden to the Chinese audience, but I do know that China has been doing it for multiple sets at a time, or multiple sets for a while. For people who don't know what's going on, who was tweeting about it? I think it was it Travis? No, it was no, who was tweeting about this? I need to give context for it. But there was a player that was accused in Worlds of win trading. Oh yeah, right here, Tartman. Okay, so basically there's a Chinese player that was accused of win trading to help other people in China to advance at the World Championship when he knew that he was eliminated. He very much did, by the way. Tartman lays out very good evidence. He's not biased about it. He's pretty objective about it. He evaluates like multiple situations of like what he could and couldn't do, right? Like, it's very long and it's extensive. Yeah, I mean, even Soji just straight up rips it. Didn't look at all examples, but the screenshot is just blatant, right? So he definitely did. What he got was a small fine and basically a slap on the wrist. He didn't get banned. And so this is what Riot is running into. They banned one player for being very hostile and xenophobic towards Brazil, and they basically just lightly taxed another player for an infraction of severe competitive integrity rule, right? Because that's World Championships. There's a few layers to this. The first is that if you want to be technical about it, okay, I don't agree with it, but if you want to be technical about it, Riot laid out in a page and a half that they already fined him. While determining the applicable sanction, noted that Setsuko already received the penalty, or just received the penalty in July 24 for breaching the rulebook. So technically, that is probably the first time that Ahau has breached it. So there's a little bit of a technicality of that. So there's precedent of like the first breach of it is like a fine. So like, I don't like that argument, but there's that. The second layer that you have to consider is that China's already been doing this since set 4, since set 5. I don't remember. Wait, there's people in my chat who's been following ever since that. When was the first time we noticed this? Like, Keen, when was the first time we noticed this? Like a long time ago. Okay, so set 4 was probably the first time that we saw China win trade. We would have to go back and retroactively do a bunch of competitive rulings, and that might impact like a dozen Chinese players, and that might actually severely set back the Chinese competitive scene in a way that Riot doesn't want to, because they didn't technically take action in set 4. So remember, this is like one of the things that they need to set precedence for it. Culturally, I think China doesn't find a problem with this probably. And then 2, I think China also thought it was okay because they got away with it before, when we obviously don't think it's okay because it's just not cool to do that. And so for them, they're in a tight situation. They're in a stuck situation where they go too light, they piss off the Western audience. They go too heavy, they piss off the Chinese audience. Guess who pays the bills? It's mostly China. And I don't think, okay, to be fair, I don't think the Chinese audience actually cares that much about TFT competitive. I talked to a lot of people from China. There's one person that's been telling me lately that, quite frankly, in China, TFT esports is not really like that popular. It's not that it's like unpopular, but it's not anywhere near at the scale of the casual game. So I don't know if banning Ahao or any of these guys that are involved in it would be something that would like make the Chinese fans like turn away or whatever. But in my opinion, I think that this was a mistake to not punish him more severely. And I think that Riot now has to just face the music. They totally messed up by not punishing this guy harder. And now they're like, okay, now we have to punish hard. And it kind of sucks that it happened to Setsuko first. But like, I personally agree with the concept of it. Like, I don't think we should be allowing, or rather not necessarily allowing, but enabling people to use such language. I don't think it's okay. Like, you might think it's not a big deal, but like, if that was directed at you and you have a lot of, and if you have like culturally, it's something that like the Brazilians are really proud, right? They're really proud of being Brazilian and being part of the fandom. Like, I don't think that you would personally like it either. So I think that Riot is trying to do the right thing now, but it is inconsistent, and they deserve all the criticism for that. It shouldn't happen. The inconsistency is a problem, yes, but they need to stop that inconsistency somewhere. Would you rather them continue to be consistent in a bad way, or would you rather them just reverse the trend? And I think that you would rather them reverse the trend, because I don't think, because like if Setsuko gets a $1,000 fine, he won't care, and he's gonna triple down. He's gonna quadruple down. He already did. Like, he already did. He got a fine for behaving in such an antagonistic way, and he's gonna triple, quadruple, and just say like, I don't care. Screw Riot Games. Like, you guys can't do whatever. Like, so like, I think that they're trying to take a hard stance because they don't want to tolerate that. So I'd rather they take the hard line sometime. Like, it's unfortunate that it happened here. Also, you guys are acting like it wasn't the first time people got banned either. That technically happened when Sphinx griefed. Remember when Sphinx target griefed? Who was it? Was it Groxy? Sphinx target griefed Groxy in a tournament. Like, basically pivoted into, I forgot what it was. He like pivoted into a comp. Was it Executioner or something? I forgot what it was. It was like set 10. Oh yeah, Vexamumu. He like hard griefed and hard targeted and pivot into a hit, and just like literally typed it in chat that I'm griefing you. And then they banned him. So it's not even like that doesn't have precedence for like bad behavior. The reason why this is all so bad is because Riot kind of bent the knee to China. So in conclusion, I think that this is important for Riot to do. And as a community, we should not be upset that they took action. We could probably be like mad at Riot for not being more consistent about China, but like in essence, like we all should kind of be approving that Riot's taking a stance on it. I think banning for the whole set is a little much. I think banning him for the whole set is a little much. The fact that, I mean, that's a long time. I don't know. Like, what do we do now? Wait, also, this means that Snapshots is a little bit more interesting. Honestly, they could have perma-banned him. Oh, I think perma-banning is like... I think if he comes back and does it again, they might ban him for like a year or something like that. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I mean, that is hot off the press. You guys saw it, so...